Well, hello to anybody who's watching this, and welcome to part 1 of my fly fishing journey. I'm just getting started with fly fishing, and I thought it might be useful to document my journey. Long ago, I used to fish with my spinning rod, but somewhere along the line, I lost interest and haven't fished in decades. Recently, I stumbled over some videos on YouTube about fly fishing for trout, and the more I watched, the more interested I got.
Oh my gosh. I think that's a brook trout. Holy cow, that's a brook trout. Oh my gosh, it's a big brook trout. Come on, dude. Do not come off.
I started doing some research and learned that most states have online resources that show where trout are and where they're stocked. In New York, the Department of Environmental Conservation has a website with a map that shows all the waterways in New York that have trout. It includes stock trout and wild trout. And if you click on a particular body of water, it tells the number of trout that are stocked in that water each year and all of the regulations pertaining to that water. After a lot of looking around, I discovered that there was a stream only 3 miles away from my house that gets stocked with over 500 trout a year, and the stream is only about a mile long. I figured it'd be a shame to let such an ideal opportunity go to waste. I also got a lot of useful information by doing searches on Google for best trout fishing in whatever state you're in, and introduction to fly fishing. YouTube videos related to trout fly fishing in whatever state you're in yielded even more information. The first thing I needed was the gear. There's an incredible amount of fly fishing gear that's available. But I wanted to get started as cheaply as possible, since I can never be sure that I will actually follow through on my winter fantasies. Since I had absolutely no equipment to start with, I decided to go with a combination outfit that would include most of the things I would be needing. But it turns out that fly rods come in a lot of different sizes, called weights, that relate to the size of fish you expect to catch. A 1-weight rod is for small fish, an 8-weight rod is for big fish, and they come in all the sizes in between. The reels and the fly line that is on them also come in different weights that should match the weight of the rod. In my online research, I came across this chart. Most of what I read said to get a 5-weight, 9-foot rod, but that nearby stream is pretty small, without much room to maneuver. So I decided to go with a 4-weight outfit that comes with an 8.5-foot rod. And it'll give me some room to grow if I decide to upgrade next year. After doing a lot of research, I found a combination outfit that was frequently recommended in the articles I read. It included the rod and reel, some flies, leaders, tippets, and a few more things that I knew from my research would be useful. But before I spent any money, I needed to prove to myself that I was sincere about this. So, one unusually warm day in a New York January, I drove over to the creek and walked the entire length of it, twice since I had to get back to the car. I was pleasantly surprised by three things. First, I saw absolutely no one fishing. Now admittedly, it was a weekday in January in New York, but still. Second, I'm not so young anymore, and I'm not in the best of health, but I had no trouble at all with all that walking. And third, there were a lot of spots along the creek that looked exactly like the places in the videos I had watched, where people had caught lots of good-sized trout. It was a cloudy day, I had no sunglasses, and there were very few places along the trail that paralleled the creek that were close enough to the water so that I could actually see into it. And yet, I saw a brown trout near one of the small footbridges that crossed the creek. I wasn't able to get a picture of it, but this is exactly what it looked like. Well, that was enough for me. I planned to go home and order the combo set that night. As the saying goes, I was hooked. I think this is a good place to end this video, both in terms of content and location. So I'm going to stop here for now, but I'll be back soon with the next video of my fly fishing journey. I hope you'll join me, and thanks for watching.
Still water, when there is no pebble tossed, no